Hi, good afternoon. Nice to have you all here for the next session of the Intershop B2B Frontrunners community. Today we're going to have a beautiful lineup, but waiting for all the people to attend, and we've got many people that are going to join us. We're going to start off with interesting news just for warming up and waiting for everybody to arrive. Today, there's two news items that are closely connected. And actually, those are major introductions. I don't know if you have seen it, but Apple has released an introduction video of their iVision Pro. Not a product demo, but a tour that actually shows you how this whole user interface works. And it is worth the while to visit that YouTube video. It's about 9 minutes, and they explain how it's going to work, navigating with your fingers, how that ecosystem of a virtual environment is going to work. Actually, I think that if you look back at what you're going to see there, that's the same sensation as we had when they started to introduce their iPhone and you start swiping. This is a revolution in how we use user interfaces and how we are going to interact with technology in the 3D environment. And actually, that's very closely related to what you see at Microsoft Copilot. Microsoft Copilot is also not only the technology, it is also about how you use it, how you start talking to it, how you start giving to command to your computer in order to get results out of it. Those two developments, and we're going to talk a lot more about Microsoft Copilot today, because Intershop got such a wonderful integration with it. These two developments are really the marking points of a very big change in how we will experience digitalization in the next couple of years. Once again, I want to welcome everybody to this Frontrunners session. We've got a great agenda. We've got very nice topics. Not only the subject is nice, but today we're not going only to talk about the idea of AI and generative AI. We're going to show you how you can use it, and we're going to elaborate on the impact this will have on businesses, but not only from a technology perspective, but also from a business and a way of working perspective. We've got experts in motion that are going to show a very practical implementation with a handheld scanner. We're going to hear from VBH what that actually did to their organization and how their vision enabled to do so. And Sparque.AI will elaborate on what it actually takes to do that, and how all these developments bring innovation and improvement closer together and make you accelerate in speed. And then at the end, we've got a very exciting bit, because this is something where you can also benefit from the cooperation between Microsoft and Intershop. The Intershop Copilot integration actually is not only very beautiful, but today you're going to be presented with the opportunity to come up with ideas you have for projects where you can use it, and Microsoft and Intershop will enable that with you and will support you in the development. So anybody who has got a great idea on what they want to do and how they want to experiment with the integration of Copilot, and has a great idea for a project that also could benefit other Intershop clients, that is very welcome. Please enter your suggestions in the chat, and all your questions and remarks you have during the session in the chat, so that we can pick them up. But especially this idea of what is the use case you have that Intershop and Microsoft can enable you with, please add that in the chat. So we've got a packed program. it's not only these sessions, it's more than this. We have got a lot of members and we exchange a lot of information, and you can learn from each other in this very fast developing world. Today's session is, of course, about ChatGPT and other generative AI, and not only about the technology and what you can do with it, but also how it's going to impact B2B commerce success, how you can use it, how you can have to adjust your organization and the way you work to it. And we're going to explain that in a very practical sense today. But why has ChatGPT been dominating the headlines? And that is actually rather interesting if you look at what happened. Only in November 2022, ChatGPT launched as an early demo. So it wasn't a full-scale ready product then. It was an early demo. And in 2 months' time, they had 100 million active users. A adoption speed that hasn't been equaled before, and will be challenging for any other application to follow. Then in March, they came with ChatGPT 4 with an enormous increase of the amount of parameters that are used to generate the answers to feed the system with. Then they started rolling out plugins, not keeping all this knowledge to themselves, but opening up and giving others the opportunity to use this marvelous technology. Then in August, ChatGPT for enterprises. How can you use it as a business? Then in September, opening up, not restricted anymore to internet access to 2021, but real-time live access to the entire internet. And then the integration with DALL-E 3 to generate images. And then at their first ever developer session, they had a heap load of introductions. And then there was this sudden problem with who actually owns ChatGPT, or who is the boss in ChatGPT. Is that the business, or is that the public enterprise that it was? And then Microsoft showed how deep their commitment to those AI developments is. And it didn't stop there. In January, they opened their GPT store with custom GPTs. You now can access 3 million pre-built GPTs built by the users of ChatGPT. And that's one example of their enormous, fast development speed and a different approach to what they do. This is not about big implementations. This is about enabling technology that helps you to use the power of data. And it is very interesting to closely monitor everything what they do, and to understand how this really works. And that comes from an avid user of ChatGPT. You see the increase of their technology and of their quality of the technology day by day, and they continuously improve not only the user interface, but also the way the technology works. What actually caused ChatGPT to happen? And after that, what will be next? Well, actually, and this is a ChatGPT created image, so you can't read the text because that's something difficult in these images still. But what happened is that after a very slow development actually of large language models and deep learning, that suddenly all preconditions were there. Artificial intelligence as a technology developed, became more mature. especially the natural languages processing, help to understand what you actually mean if you start typing a sentence or asking a question. The transformer architecture enables this fast analysis of data and turning that into answers, and the availability of data, the new ways of data training on large data assets and cloud computing, that all came together, and that made it possible for ChatGPT to arise. So if that's ChatGPT and that helped us cross that hurdle of technology, then the question is, what is going to be next? And well, here you can see that we're at stage 4. It can think, it can give domain-specific answers, but we're only at the beginning of where AI will bring us. Artificial general intelligence will bring us at a point that computers get smarter than people, and eventually we go to singularity. So what you see and why ChatGPT is so important is not because it's the end stage, but it's because it's the beginning of an AI-driven world. And in that AI-driven world, we see that it is all about being right for us as an individual. It is the marker for the individual age. And it will change the way we produce, the way we shop, and the way we run our business. And it also requires of all companies to really think on how personal they want to get. How personal do you want to be in the encounter with your customers? And that requires that you think of what is your ambition? What is your ambition in terms of engagement and in terms of value creation? And what is that value creation in the artificial age? Having defined an idea of where you want to go helps you to not only do the right things today, but also do those things today that contribute to your long-term strategy. And the real beauty of what's going on now is that you can start with envisioning on what you can do with practical experiments, and we're going to show you some of them today. Focused, well, in the first instance, probably to boost efficiency and lower cost. But having defined your long-term objectives, they also support your more strategic innovations. Ideas on how you're fundamentally going to change your business and redefine business models. What this also means is this process of continuous improvement. If you start working with data and if you start working with AI, it's not about defining a solution and that is it. No, it is just what you see at ChatGPT and at OpenAI's development. It is this constant learning curve of developing something, improving it, learn by using it, and come up with the next iteration. Because it's data and it's data processes you configure, that's also possible. It also requires for most companies that they start adopting a different way of working. A way of working that is far more holistic, where all departments are involved in the development. This is not a technology development, this is not a business development only. This is the cooperation of all departments in an organization that bring together innovation and improvement, because they're no longer different things, but it requires that all departments are involved. And in the contribution of Microsoft today, it would also be about responsible AI and about legal and compliance, as well as about business innovation and achieving your business goals. We're only at the beginning, and today we focus on the way this change will take place and how it can help you forward. So it's a great pleasure to introduce experts in motion who will present this beautiful and very practical handheld scanner case. And their client, BVH, will talk about the practical and strategic implications that development of that handheld scanner has, and what is the broader context for them to start an initiative like that. And Sparque.AI will talk about the acceleration of improvement, about this constant process of development, improvement, using data to get smarter and improve what you do based on the learnings you have by doing it. And Microsoft and Intershop will present the Copilot. And once again, if you have this challenging and interesting idea what you can do with Copilot, please add it in the chat, because before you know, Microsoft and Intershop say, well, we endorse this activity and we will support you in developing it. So, without further ado, we're going over to experts in motion. Ulf Moritz will do a presentation on what they actually did with this handheld scanner. And you, as a e-commerce expert, know by heart how you have to make practical solutions and using this advanced technology to take advantage of the opportunities we have here. Ulf, take the lead.
Okay, thank you, Ian. Thank you for the wonderful introduction to that topic. My name is Ulf Selig. I'm a business and e-commerce consultant at the Experts in Motion here in Stuttgart. I have more than nearly 25 years experience in that field. Better, smarter, faster, that's the topic today for us. I would like to give you a short overview of a pilot project we did together with VBH. And in this project, we are using AI search and generative AI in combination with an existing scanner application. Ian already told about this. And VBH is a wholesaler in the door and window construction sector. They already have many international stores online on the Intershop platform. More about VBH you will hear later on from Oliver Maisch, the CEO. So next slide. I have to use the internet clicker, so sorry, that's a different format for me now. Yeah. Some short words about Experts in Motion. We are a full-service agency since more than 10 years right now. We build solutions for e-commerce, PIM, DAM, CMS systems. We make search strategies and right now AI technology. Our focus is on manufacturers and wholesalers, especially in B2B. We are a platinum partner of Intershop, and for sure we also have other technologies like SAP, Sparque, Cognigy, and other tools. Today, better recommendations. So for VBH, one of the most important things is to improve store performance right now. VBH wants to provide customers with a better up and cross-selling recommendation engine. So as you know, good product recommendations have a big impact on conversion rates and customer experience and so on. VBH is a wholesaler in that door and window area with about 1,000 manufacturers with over than 80,000 products. So VBH also have an own. Oh, sorry, I see I'm too far in the presentation. So, yeah, with more than 80,000 projects. So they have an own brand, so-called Green Tech, with about 3 up to 4,000 products. And the problem for VBH is right now that manufacturers often provide just a few product data. The delivered content is used by a large number of retailers, so you will have in the internet the problem of duplicate content for SEO, and all products and catalogs data is managed in the VBH PIM right now, but we have just a little relationship between other products, other categories, which we can use to build better or really sensible product recommendations in the shop or maybe in the scanner app. So the problem right now is how do we get good product suggestions for the shop. You have 3 different ways to deliver recommendations for up and cross-selling. So the first one is that you have this data in your PIM system, so you provide the shop and all these things directly with that information, and you just have to display it in the shop. The second one is that you use search data. There you can enhance your recommendations using purchase history, such like order data, baskets, and such things. And the third thing is that you use context-related data. And that's the problem. Where do you get these context-related data from? We will handle it later in our pilot project. So, and the best result you will get if you make a combination of all these 3 strategies, then you will have a really powerful recommendation engine at the end. So, faster recommendations about our innovative approach. We use here ChatGPT to deliver the lack of information. ChatGPT provides us the missing data and some more relevant input we can use later on then in the search field or to combine these things. And for VBH is it a big problem to provide this data by demo, because to produce the missing data is really time consuming and expensive. So that's not possible in the moment for VBH. And so next slide, yeah. And to make this first step, the proof of our concept, we use the VBH scanner app. As you can see here, it's a mobile solution, mobile web app. It's a PWA. We designed that 1 year before, so we have already over 600 active devices on the system. Many customers use that application to order products, and you can put it the data in a basket, and then you can directly make a checkout to the shop system, and you can order these products you have scanned. So, and here in that slide you see our concept, so our architecture of that solution. In the left side you see the existing scanner app, and on the right side that's a block with our generative AI and search modules. So on the left side you use that scanner app. Here I made a copy of my iPhone. You can scan a product, you can scan the barcode, so up to 12 different barcode types. You will get out of the product ID. We use that product ID to connect to the Intershop system from VBH. You get a complete complete product data, you get the images, you get a product category which the product belongs to. The next step is that we show the scanned product in the app, and after that we make a connect to the right side block. We decided to use a middleware layer for that, for more flexibility in the future, so we can use that solution maybe for other applications who use the same search strategy, maybe later in the shop or something else. And in that middleware, we have two modules. We call it the related topics and the module recommendations. First of all, the module related topics connects to the ChatGPT API. We use the product category. So here it's a door handle. We go with the topic door handle to ChatGPT, and we ask ChatGPT what helpful topics we have for that door handle. For example, which tools do I need, or maybe which accessories I need for mounting a door handle. And as a result, we get from ChatGPT an array, a list. We go back to the middleware and start from there the call to the recommendation module. We use, in this case, the Sparque.AI search. We'll later on from Chi something more about Sparque.AI. So we go with this list of topics. So, for example, the list of tools for mounting this door handle into Sparque.AI, and we search VBH product data, the order data, the PIM data, to get some related products to that door handle or to these topics we got back from ChatGPT. And at the end of that strategy, as the result of the Sparque.AI search, we get back a list, JSON array. And with that JSON array, we go back to the scanner application, and we can display our AI recommendations at the bottom of the scanner app. So, and next slide. Yeah. For example, if we have a look to that ChatGPT, you can find here a little example. So all of you knows the chat client, the chat bot from ChatGPT. You can ask him, you can give him some parameters for that dialogue. So a system, so I'm an expert in doors and windows construction, and I want to have some tools and accessories. And you can see on the left side, so the result, that was really the first call after we had an idea. You get already back a really helpful list of tools, for example, to use with a door handle. So, but instead of using the chat bot, we make this using the API. And on the right side, you see a JSON file, a result set with 6 categories or 6 topics related to that question to a ChatGPT. And this list we are using in the further programming. So when we come to Sparque.AI, that's just an example of such a search strategy. Here at the beginning, you have the input things. You have, for example, the VBH product data. On the right side, on the top, you have the list of parameters you give to the strategy. And then you see different ways or different sub-strategies to search, for example, in the SKU, in the product name, in the categories, in all data, and so on. And so in the middle, you have the possibility then to combine all these results from these different strategies, and you can make a scoring at the end. In the middle down, the red square is the API output, and the API output is at the end just a list of recommendations scored somehow, and with that list, we go back to the middleware and then to the scanner app to display the results. Yeah. And I think, yes, now we can show a little example of a live demo was too difficult in this session. So we made a little video out of that. So please start the video. So we have 3 different scans. You see here I think that's a mounting foam for Windows. Now you get the data from out of Intershop, and at the bottom you see already some recommendations based on the results from ChatGPT and the search in Spark. So here is a really example. You see maybe some cutters or some tools you need for mounting this product. Here it's also a very good example. We have a little search, then you get a result, and you see we deliver from the green tech products the related products to that scan product. So this one is not so good. The examples are nearly the same, and that's one of the learnings. Okay, we have in the next step we have to learn about the results, how to scoring the results, and maybe to change the strategies in our search. So I think there is the biggest part of work later on, also for the customer. So VBH has to go into these results and has to check, is it a good result, or what can we change, what do we have to change, and then do their work. So then the next slide, yeah, so the learnings, one of the biggest learning was that ChatGPT response times are too high. We have sometimes up to 6, 7, 8 seconds of result time and so on. That's too much for a productive system later on. The wording of the prompts is really important. The data quality from the product data, category data is really important for results. And later on, as I already said, VBH has to evaluate the results and have to do the fine-tuning. So perspective is for us maybe to get faster response. We use something like data caching from the results. We put it later, we make a process to make it for all products, and then we put it in the database, and we can use directly after the scan the predefined result sets. Middleware is important, and I think the technology is really helpful maybe in other use cases, so directly in the shop or some tools for more VBH sellings. So and that's it from my part, and I do the handover to Oliver Meisch from VBH. Thank you.
So, good afternoon together. My name is Oliver Meisch. I'm the CIO for the VBH Holding Group. I'm 53 years old and responsible for IT plus e-commerce in the company. Yeah, VBH is a retailer. We make round about 1.5 billion turnover in the group. Yeah, we are a wholesaling company. We have no productions. We are buying and selling. And of course, we want to selling more of this via e-commerce in the future. And for this, we need a very good search engine and good recommendation to make a lot of cross-selling and altogether more turnover, of course. Yeah, our mission is to help our customers to be successful with innovative products and services. We are present in 23 countries. We are running at the moment 7 shops based on Intershop. All together with the 7 shops, we are doing 30 million turnover currently. Our plan is to improve it to up to 20% more. Yeah, that's the current situation, and that's about VBH. So if we have a look on the touch points from our customer journey, so we are at the beginning, attention and interest. So that's what we are focused now. That's why we want to use AI as a technology to lead our customers to interesting products, to have a better conversion rate at the end, of course. So, and yeah, that's in the first part. We are looking for why we want to use AI to give a better customer journey for our customers.
Oliver and Ulf, thank you for this insightful presentation. I've got a question for you, Oliver. You already were interested in AI 2 years ago. What is it that attracted your attention, and how did you enter this space in such an early at such an early point?
Hi, Ian. Why we are doing this? We have, let me split this question in two answers. The first point is from an external point of view from our customers. We want to give them a better customer journey, of course, more related products, better conversion rate, cross-selling, all these things. But on the second point, we want to solve our internal problems, what we are facing, or everybody is facing, I guess. We all have a lot of work. You can imagine we have 80,000 items that we have to manage. That's a lot. We have connected with our PIM system, more than 13 countries currently, and everything have to be up to date. That's critical job, time expensive job. You need a lot of people who do this. So at the end, we are driven to save costs. We have to update everything. We have a good process to keep everything up to date. And the other point is, of course, it's difficult for us to find skilled people to do this for us. So it's not only a technical thing what you need to know how to update everything. You also have to find skilled people who can ask the right questions to give the good results at the end, as we learned from Wolf. So you have to ask ChatGPT questions to get a good answer, but it starts with the question. So if this is okay, then the answer will be okay.
If you elaborate a little bit more on that, what do you think that this will do to your organization and to the way you do business?
The process will be much better than in the past because we are faster. When you consider the time to market, it starts with the vendors. We have around about 1,000 vendors. So they have new products. We have to manage them, update in the PIM. You have to update the relationships for cross-selling. That's all time consuming. And if you can use AI to accelerate everything here, so you're much faster and have at the end, hopefully also a better result.
Okay.
And save costs.
Yes, I understand that. That's the cost part, and I understand that. If you look at your future goals with the use of AI, how do you think about that? And not only what your future goals are, but how are you going to measure the impact of all of this?
We are at a starting point of this at the moment. I know the KPIs. We need more KPIs. We have to be to think about which KPIs are relevant for us. And when you remember from the example what from Ulf told us before, so when you ask GPI for some products, what can help you to mount and handle as example, and you get a result, and you need somebody who check if this words what you get back from ChatGPT, if you have the right keywords also in your PIM system, in your products, that you can match them and find them. So you need KPIs in the beginning to optimize everything, to ask the right questions, to get the best answers, and also to measure what the customer asking. So and if the customer asking looking for some keywords, you have to check, do you have this updated in your PIM system, and use also these keywords to match them together. So so what I want to say, it's much more important, not only from the technical side, that the data management is the most important thing to have success. And that's technical. Yes, we have now the technique, but now we have to investigate more in the search strategy to find the correct way to the right products.
Yes, and that will require a different way of working and probably different skills in your organization.
Exactly.
I presume. Yes. Yep. What was and that's also related to a question in the chat. What did it take to convince the rest of the organization? And I know you're the CIO, so that's probably more easy than when you're just a manager. But nevertheless, you have to convince your shareholders or other stakeholders that you need to go this direction. What to you were the key arguments to follow this avenue?
First of all, I have to convince the shareholders, and shareholders most important for me, to convince them that this is the right strategy in a market where we have a lack of skilled people in the future. So our branch is not so sexy like cars, as example. So it's difficult to find for us good people who know what we are talking about, how to mount the handler and these things. And I think technology and especially AI can help us here to give a better result in the future, to help our salespeople to find the right products, and they do not need hopefully 30 years experience like now.
Okay, and if you look at it as an early mover, how do you think that this is going to give you a commercial advantage to your competitors?
As I said, very important is the data management. And if you not start yet, you will have the same problem in the future. And maybe we don't have the big success now, but first we have to do our homework, and is to keep the data up to date and think about the search strategy, to ask the right questions, to find the good products. And for this, we need to match our data with search strategy. And that's nothing what you can buy out of the box. You can buy technology, but not this knowledge what you need to combine items. And yeah, that's, I think it's a way you need time to do it, to get a good result. But I believe it's the only way where we can help our salespeople to give them more success with help from AI.
Yes. Okay, thank you. I'm just switching to Ulf. I've got a question for Ulf as well in relation to this. You showed, Ulf, you showed in your presentation this graph of Sparque.AI lines and figures and this very complex drawing. And the result at the end is something which looks very simple at the front end. What 5 things do I need when I install a door handle? Is that also what is different, that you start thinking from what does a customer need and how can technology or data provide it? Is that what is maybe the biggest change in the process here?
I think that you have the possibility with Spark to use the tool with a front end. You can go into the application with a browser, and you can click at each point and see directly the results. And you can you can prove is it correct or not, and what scoring is on the products, and I think later on the fine tuning in these strategy is it's not a programming task. It's a consultancy topic. So the customer can do this by his own, so that he says, okay, the result's not so good because in a door handle we get also only screws, for example. There should be some screwdrivers, other things. So then he can go to these parts of the strategy and can see directly out of his data what's possible and how do we score these different pipes at the end. So I think then he gets a better feeling of the data he has inside already. So maybe in the products or in the categories. So maybe if he's searching, we had an example. In German we searched for Schraubenzieher, screwdriver, and you have another word, Schraubendreher. So you mean the same, but in the product data and the category data of VBH, there was no Schraubenzieher. So we got no result, and we wondered, okay, then we saw, okay, maybe here we have to use some synonyms in that search too. And that's the learning. So for VBH, I think they can modify later on their data model category. They can add some more information to categories, products in the PIM, and deliver the system these things for the scoring. Yes? And I think for them that's a really good thing to learn about their data, products, and the way to search, and at the end the scoring. Because if you have a really high scored pipe where you say, oh, the result is just truth, then you have to think, is the scoring from these different things the right one, or you have to change it. The other one is 10 times higher, should be 10 times higher than the other one.
Yeah. So are you actually also saying that this requires also the human ingenuity and knowledge to make this really work? So we're talking about a high level intelligence in tooling, and yet humans still have to configure it and learn to understand how to make that technology work.
Yes, sure, because at the end you have to prove if the recommendations are the right one. So I would not deliver them public, just go through the process and don't care about the results. I think VBH should or has to control the results, and maybe that's what we said. For perspective, they get back the data directly in their PIM, and there they can later on work with that data and say, okay, maybe the first 6 topics or 6 products are the right one, but the rest we should kick and add some by their own. And at the end, just this data is going to the product database for a productive system, maybe.
Okay.
So.
Okay, thank you. Clear. What was your biggest surprise in this entire endeavor?
The biggest surprise was really at the beginning. So when we had the IB, and said, "Oh, just make a test. What does ChatGPT say? What do we need to mount a door handle?" Yeah? And I thought, well, the results were really good. And that could be interesting for future, because I think with all these AI topics, we are just at the beginning. So that's really, really, really at button line. So last year, the Intershop event in Amsterdam, there was one speaker. He said, if AI is a human being, then AI right now is a baby. I think we have to use this technology very early to learn and to improve the results.
Yes. So would you say that it is an absolute necessity for all people in the business and in commerce to start experimenting and start doing things in order to understand what it really takes to make this work?
Yes, I think that's really necessary. Yes. I had a lot of learnings using that tool, and I can just recommend everybody to try it and have a deep dive into the system.
Yes, I fully agree with you. I advise all people to start using ChatGPT, and especially, well, make the investment in the ChatGPT 4 and start using Microsoft Copilot in order to understand how this works. This is going to be all about prompts and about understanding to give the right instructions to the machines to get the right answers. Thank you very much for this this wonderful use case, Ulf and Oliver, and also for your very openness, Oliver, on where this is going to take you. I think you very nice examples of well, being ahead of the curve and start to learn and well, work your way towards the future. That's great. Sparque is here to, well, elaborate a little bit more on what actually, how this and how these developments can bring innovation and improvement and innovation closer together and accelerate the speed of developments in many organizations. Chi, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Arjen. Good afternoon, everyone. So this is, I think by now the third time that I'm in the B2B frontrunners. Most of the times I speak about technical subjects because that's also what I like to do, about data. But this time I have a slightly different presentation, some observations I want to share with you, and that kind of throws me back to earlier in my career, where when I was a management consultant and more looking at organizational development and that kind of stuff. So yeah, as we go through the slides, hold on, my clicker is not doing what I wanted to do. So I'll just going to describe the first two slides that you see. It's of course I'm the managing director of Sparque.AI, so we do AI-driven search and recommendations and various solutions. Is it okay if I just ask for the next slide? See if someone can be of help. Excellent, thank you. And the next one. Yep, so here are the various solutions that have been summed, but you have heard of these before probably. So let's move to the real beef of this meeting. And that is, we tend to look at technology as to drive, say, measurable improvements, new functionality, new ways to interact, efficiency. But it also has a big impact on the softer side of organizations. And I believe that Arjen also pointed that out in his introduction. So let's move on to the next slide. So when you talk about innovation, what we really want to do is shorten the time to market. And there are a lot of various diagrams, about this cycle, this plan, do, act, check cycle. This was a really short one, so I didn't need to explain much about it. I kind of liked it, discover. So, hey, what do you want to do? Develop, meaning putting that into practice, and then delivering some results that you then also can move back to the first phase again. Now, if we look at digital innovation, obviously, it's about speeding up the cycle. But if we go to the next slide, what we also see is that even in the realm of data, so when you're an outsider, you think data is data. When you're on the inside, you see, hold on, this is a specialization. There are different disciplines, and often even there are different departments that are involved. So data management typically would be, say, more in the core IT corner, and that's where you make the decision of, okay, what is there, how do you store it, how do you manage it, do you publish it, do you bring things together in data lake or so or not, etc., etc. Then you have a field of data science, so basically exploring really the data and saying, okay, what kind of relations can I find? This is really the discovery phase where you say, I think we can do this, we can try that. But before you can actually do that, the way that you look at the data, the how should I say, the mobilization of the data has to move again then to production system. And that's the data engineering bit where people say, oh, okay, I need to pick up this piece of data and bring it there, or I need to combine X, Y, and Z and then do something with it in the web shop or in the CRM. And what we see is that even though each cycle may accelerate, there are still barriers or perceived barriers because it requires interactions and collaboration between people and teams. So, next slide. What did these connective AI tools such as ChatGPT and Sparque.AI, what did it change? I think the single biggest thing is that it's not just, so ChatGPT is not just this large language model, which is a great thing, but also how the model communicates to the world. So we can go on to a website and start typing something, and it communicates via REST APIs. And if you have an application, you can also speak to these APIs. And what it does is it breaks down these barriers, these perceived or real barriers between different disciplines and teams, and it can accelerate throughout the cycle of data. And what we see is that it even pulls in then people who are in commercial who say, hey, I have a great idea, let's see how that works. Or I have some insights, let's test if that can be true or not, and then move it into something that we can actually do and try. So what it does is not just accelerate the integration on the technical level, the technology, what it delivers, but really pulling in other people from other parts of the organization. And that's where it really starts to impact this culture of innovation. Now, do we have some examples? So this is, next slide. So this is how I basically started thinking about, hey, why is it that some of our customers seem to be in a different place today than they were 2 or 3 years ago? One of our customers is Schippers. We've now worked over 3 years with Schippers. Next slide. What we started off with, and what is still a very core piece of what Schippers does with Spark, are these recommendations. We say, oh, I have a product, I add it to cart, and immediately we'll also suggest to you what are really good cross-sell recommendations to go with this product. And this is great because of a couple of reasons. If you add more to the cart, obviously that's really good for business. For the end user, it also had great benefits that you may, you don't want to forget something that you need. And it's really practical that, when you want to order what you need, that you can do that all in one screen rather than having to go back either to the search bar or navigate through your category tree. And if I can have the next slide. So this is what we started off with. And in the past years, together with Schippers, we're seeing that because Sparque.AI connects easily to other data sources, that we can, how should you say that we can do use cases, not just within the Spark application, but also, for example, pull in Google BigQuery and run some numbers there. So in fact, we can run numbers, for an example, on when do we expect a particular customer to reorder a product. So if there's a product that he buys more often, and typically there's a week in between a reorder of this product, then what we want to do is we want to bring this product into the recommendations when it gets closer to this reordering point. So one day after he just ordered this product, it's not very relevant, but one day before the predicted next reorder moment, it becomes really important, and we want that to provide a boosting factor then in the recommendations. And this is what Spark allows. So where's the logic? What is the tool that actually can process it best? Can we do it in Spark, or is it better to do it in some external AI tool? Where is the data? Okay, we pick up the data, we combine it in these Spark algorithms, and make sure that this very important piece of information ends up in the recommendations. Now, one other example, that's Izero. Next slide. So Izero is a shop that does hardware, construction materials, and also Izero has now been a customer with us for over 3 years. So we have kind of observed also the evolution of the e-commerce function here. If I can have the next slide. Also, Izero started with cross-sell recommendations. By now you probably understand that cross-sell recommendations is a really good business case, low-hanging fruit, adding more items to a cart. So one of the things that we did was say, okay, how can we optimize the cross-sell recommendations? Of course, you have the basic of often bought together, frequently bought together, and say, okay, these products. And one of the special things that we have been able to do for Izero is to say, okay, if we look at the data sets, at the different channels that provide the orders, we think we see that the pickup orders, so orders that people go to a branch for and then pick it up literally to use it the same day, that they give the highest quality of recommendations. So we can assign them more weight to that kind of order and train the AI in that way. Now, this is how we started out. And what we have seen, next slide, what we have seen over time is that the e-commerce department became less of an isolated silo where, you have these, clever e-commerce boys and girls who do their things. No, it became more of a, how should you say that? The front guard clearing the way for more applications, for newer stuff. So just to give you an example, these cross-sell recommendations that we had on the website have now also been delivered in the point of sale systems, meaning that when a customer physically visits the store and the order is being taken into the order system, that at that moment also recommendations are generated so that the experience that a customer can have while in the branch is not dependent on what is the level of expertise or how busy is the person at in the shop at that moment, but he gets kind of a prompt to say, okay, yeah, you have X, Y, and Z. Usually you also have these and these products to go with that. Do you need them now? Yeah. So this is something that came from the business. So looking at the applications that were in e-commerce, the business and strategic functions start to look at it and say, we think we can apply this kind of technology and data elsewhere as well. So this is what I wanted to conclude with, Arjen, about innovation,
great.
Technology.
Yeah, I like the story very much, and also the examples. And one of the points, and that's maybe the biggest take out of today, what does it mean from a mentality perspective of an organization? How do you get this thing moving? Because it's not, the technology enables something different. What is the kind of mentality factors that are needed or required to make this work or to accelerate on this?
So it's not so much a mentality, but it's a success. So what happens is that, especially at new stuff, right? You don't want to fail. So people either do very small scale or don't communicate too much about it, or very few resources are assigned. You just don't want to put a lot of money or a lot of attention, a lot of effort of people into something that you're not really certain about. But as you prove your point, as the case of data-driven, you doing recommendations on the web shop, for an example, is proven, then the confidence grows that the same thing can be done elsewhere, can be replicated, can be done faster, can be done on a bigger scale. And that does not only affect the people who are directly involved, but also the people on the outside who look in and say, okay, that looks rather good. We want to be part of that success, and we have something that we can contribute. We have a use case, we have expertise, we have challenges that we can contribute, and thereby you involve more and more people in the company and create this innovation culture together.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for your contribution, Chi, and you just created a perfect bridge to the next item. Then the next presentation is from Intershop. Niels Breitman and Moritz Wilman, who will deliver a demo, will show you how the integration of Intershop with Microsoft Copilot actually bridges this gap between technology and the business by enabling business owners and organizations to use data in a very intuitive way. And that democratization of data access that Microsoft is promoting, and we'll elaborate on at the end of this presentation, will get to life in what we see in the demo of Intershop. Niels, can you enlighten us on what you did with Microsoft, and also on what kind of use cases you're looking for to give support to Intershop clients in developing solutions, tools, or whatever? Go ahead.
Yes, sure. Thank you. So I'm personally, I'm very excited about all the AI developments, and also ChatGPT, of course, is my daily companion already. So that's why I'm really happy to be able to show you the Intershop Copilot. The Intershop Copilot is a digital assistant that can help you manage your commerce solution. So it can give insights, but it can also do things. So it can really do a little of your work, and this is all through the natural language interface. So by talking to it or chatting to it. So, and there are different personas here. I just want to point out currently the Copilot is focusing on the business user personas, like the e-commerce manager. But of course, there are also great use cases for customer personas that then will really lead to conversational commerce, but that's for another topic. And we also have the developer, the DevOps personas, and also Copilot there can really help to do things, make customizations. But for today, we focus on business user personas, and the best way is to show it right away. So I'm happy to hand over to Moritz, who will give you a brief demo. Moritz is our AI engineer, one of our AI engineers. And Moritz, maybe you can share your screen.
Everyone, I'm very excited to give you guys today the live demo of our Intershop Copilot. And so how is it integrated? Currently, we have it as a Chrome plugin. So the first thing you do is just toggle the icon here, the Intershop icon, and there you have it in your responsive sidebar. Everything is responsive, and you can talk to it, interact to it, like you know it with ChatGPT or the new Microsoft Copilot. So first of all, we could maybe say, who are you? To get a first glance of who we are really talking to here. So, hello, I'm the Intershop Copilot. I assist e-commerce manager in managing their inspired electronics shop. So, we are the manager of this shop, and this is our assistant. So first of all, let's take a look at the shop. So just say, open the homepage, and because it is integrated as a Chrome plugin, it can also interact with the browser itself and help us trigger actions. So we have here our demo shop, and we now can get more information about it. So for example, we are the manager. We want to know how is the business. Damn it. So what happens in the background is our Copilot is connected to our BI data hub, where it can get the right information for itself out of the context of your message, and then it will provide us with an answer. So for example, we get here, since the 20th, we got in this shop 5 orders. We also can say, and the overall performance. And this is integrated as an Azure service connected to OpenAI GPT-4 and 3.5. So, and now we got a total of 500,000 revenue, and we see here it asks us if you want to see the Power BI report. We can just say, yes, please. And here you go, you have your Power BI report to the shop, and we can check the numbers. Yeah, 500,000 in grand total gross sounds about right. But we, of course, can do further analysis. For example, we can say what product is selling the best. And again, it checks our BI Data Hub system and gets the information for you in just a few seconds. So there it is, a product with the following SKU, and it has sold 66 times. We can check it right here in the Power BI just to confirm it. It should be the Microsoft Service Hub. So we can say open it, and then we should see the best-selling product of the shop. Of course, we only did analyze data up to this point and maybe open a few websites, but we can also change data with the Copilot. So for example, we can say, change the price to, let's say 21,000, sounds about right. And again, this triggers the REST API of our ICM system. And because it is a critical function, let's say, we have here a confirmation if we really want to do this action. And again, just in a few seconds, without going into the back office, we can reload the page, and there you go. You have the new price in your system. Okay, so much to the Intershop Copilot. I would say I give back to you, Niels.
Yeah, thanks. Just some few examples that you get a picture from the general architecture that this fits into the commerce platform. So the Intershop Copilot is a separate service. You have here the browser with the plugin, so you can open other websites. You can, of course, use all the capabilities of the commerce platform, connect to them. But what's especially important for us, you can also customize the Copilot. It's our main goal, that our partners or customers can really extend the thing and really also connect to other systems of your landscape. I don't know, the ERP or the CRM. This could also all included into the Copilot. You see here on the background, of course, it uses OpenAI from Microsoft. From the timeline, currently we are still in proof of concept phase, so we are pretty convinced that this is really a really cool thing that can bring value. But we are now looking for a pilot customer. So really, we don't want it to just like a gimmick. We really want to solve real-world problems with it. And for that, of course, you can reach out to us, and we can work together on building this in a custom project. We do it as a close to product development. And of course, we are consulted a lot by Microsoft. And with that, I would hand over to Bernd Meyer from Microsoft, who will say a few things about the plans of Microsoft.
Sure, thank you. Hi, here. I'm Bernd. I'm what we call a partner technology strategist at Microsoft. I'm responsible for the cooperation between Intershop and Microsoft on the technical side. So everything that's around AI topics, cloud infrastructure topics, and things like that. Yeah, I wanted to give you a short introduction about how we see the world and why we are invested in helping Intershop with resources and so on around creating the Copilot and other AI projects. So in general, from a Microsoft perspective, AI is everywhere. So we see a lot of increased investments in the AI space in general. And those numbers here on the slide, they are from 2022. So the numbers will probably have increased a lot over the last year. As most of you are probably aware, with the hype around ChatGPT and everything around this, AI has gained a lot of more traction within the last year than it had before. And even before, it was already a very strongly growing part of the tech industry. And that's also where we are invested. We are closely cooperating with OpenAI and everything around ChatGPT, and we are hosting ChatGPT in several variants and a lot of other models on our Azure platform for customers and partners to use. And that's where we see ourselves. So we have 3 pillars of investment from Microsoft side. The first one is research and technology, of course. So we are offering a platform for AI to use, but we are also offering additional models that can be used for different use cases. So we have a whole lot of cognitive services which range from computer vision to speech and language understanding and things like that. Very specialized, but we also have a lot of models that are living in the normal Hugging Face AI space, like, for example, Phi2, which is also a text generating model, but built not on a large language model, but on a small language model, so a lot more lightweight, but still with impressive results that can be used. Secondly, since we have the technology and we have the platform for that, we are going out and we create partnerships with companies that can benefit from AI. And one of those very important partnerships is then Intershop, of course, where we are working together. So we have me as sparring partner for Niels and Moritz, and also partner solution architects with a strong background in data and AI from Microsoft that are helping in creating the right and secure architecture around the AI tools used with Intershop, and also help with learning all the new tools and transferring knowledge and helping to create the product as fast and as secure as possible. And secure is also the last key word from a Microsoft perspective. We are a strong proponent and strongly committed to responsible AI practices because we believe AI is, or the adoption of AI is strongly coupled to a responsible use of the AI. And just to look into it, we want to make sure that those pillars shown here, like fairness and reliability and privacy and inclusiveness, are always fulfilled with all tools that are built with Microsoft AI and the Microsoft AI and the platform on Azure. Because it's important that AI is not antagonistic to the users or is putting someone at a disadvantage at any point. The more business perspective part is then the transparency and accountability part. So we provide tools for software developers like Intershop and users of our platform to see what was happening with the AI and giving a framework on moderating responses and stuff like that. So, for example, if you're using a Copilot, the users could go out and try to break out of the sandbox of the AI and achieve information that they are not authorized to access and stuff like that. And we have a whole tool chain that's just made for moderating those prompts and checking if the prompt is allowed to be used, and engaging human people to make sure that the AI is behaving correctly and not hallucinating too much. And lastly, the accountability also goes a little bit into transparency. AI built on our platform, the data that is going in there. So for example, if you're using the Intershop Copilot on a store, the data inputted there is not being used to train additional AI models or anything else. It's just in a very tight space around the customer who's using it, and therefore is providing a lot of safety for businesses and everyone who's using it in general. And yeah, I'm happy to be part of the partnership between Intershop and Microsoft, and I'm always happy to see all the advancements that the Intershop Copilot is doing. Every week there's a new feature, it seems like. And with that, I'm handing back to Arian.
Hey, thank you, Bernd. Thank you, Niels. I think this is a wonderful opportunity for all Intershop client customers to come forward and think of how you can use Copilot, how you can use it to, as Microsoft frames it so perfectly nice, enabling customers to do more with less. And I guess that's what we've seen in these presentations, that there's a lot of complexity at the back end, but in the front end, it creates much more ease to customers, and that's enabled by very advanced technology. If we start looking at, of course, this is a big thank you to all the participants and all the speakers. We've seen a lot, and we've kind of tried to demystify the complexity of AI. It is there, but technology is enabling the adjustment, the application of that. And actually, what we see is that innovation and improvement merge, and that is so beautifully illustrated in the demo from Intershop. And it's also what we're going to talk about in the next session, because you ain't seen nothing yet. As everybody who is working with it and everybody has shown something in this session demonstrated, we're at the beginning of a journey. This is a turnaround that not many people are really aware yet how big of a change this is going to be, and entering in that space is very important. For companies, it is important to develop new ways to create solutions for customers. That is not longer something that's very complex. That is where you have to incorporate all the knowledge in your company to make that work, and to think of how that in the future can bring you value, not only by the short-term improvements you can do now and the cost savings, because that's what everybody will do, but how will that really change your business? How can you imagine what your business will look like tomorrow and in 5 years' time if you start using this technology? What does that do to your business model? And then there's the underlying infrastructure that is actually your intelligence layer, because it is more about data and using data than anything else. That also ties in very nicely to the next session on March 12th. There we're going to present the results from the Kopperberg research that actually did research on B2B users and how they're looking at the implementation of all this AI technology and the thinking about it. And actually, just to lift a tip of what there's going to be told, there's a lot of thinking. And today was all about how can you make it work? How can you bring this to your organization? How can you start working on this? And that's what we're trying to do with these sessions. You're very much invited to join the next session. Please subscribe and also participate in the community. And I hope you enjoyed this session. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everybody, for their contribution. And thank you, all people who joined this session, for watching. Goodbye, and see you next time.